everyone, my name is Cristiana Caria. I'm a spiritual teacher, spiritual coach, an expertise in esoteric astrology and esoteric numerology. I'm also the founder of International Shishu School Center, where we really look and study the ancient wisdom teaching in order to support every single human being in the realization of their own life purpose. So we're really supporting everyone in manifesting their life mission, the life purpose, and also understanding it. So I'm here doing a video about the full moon in Capricorn, the full moon that we are going to have on the 3rd of July 2023. The reason of this video is my student and my friends, foreign friends, have asked me really to do a video. Normally I do my video only in Italian. I used to do them in English, so I've been asked to do some videos also in English, and this is the reason why I'm here today, to explain you a little bit about astrology, the situation we are going through, so the full moon, from the point of view of the esoteric numerology and the esoteric astrology. It's really a time of very deep transformation. It's really a very intense time. Also, in my many videos that I've done up until now in Italian, I've explained that 2003 and 23 is really a year of change. In numerology, 23 is called Peter Pan, and it has two meanings. Peter Pan is the one that doesn't want to grow, but also is the one that is really trusting the inner voice, the inner guidance, and it has faith. And the 23 is a 5, so is taking us through a deep, deep, deep change. We are at the beginning of the age of Aquarius, in the process of moving, passing from the 3rd to the 5th or 4th dimension, according to the diagram we really consider. So because some diagrams look at the dimension from the 7 point of view of the 7 densities. Some diagrams look at the dimension from the point of view of 12 densities. So whether we look at one or the other, we really move from the 3rd to the 4th, or from the 3rd to the 5th, which are exactly the same, but actually what it really means for us is that we are invited to move from a time where we have 3 dimensions, so we only look at the rational point of view. We know 3 is also the number of the rational mind in numerology. An uplift, because 3 is a number that is associated to uplift, changing that point of view from the logical to the 4th point of view, which is intuition, or 5th is also the soul. So we are invited to change our way of dealing with life. And also, this is the title that I used because in order to explain that we are invited really to find new way of dealing with things, new way to deal with physicality, because the old way, the rational way, doesn't really work anymore. So, and this might be frightening for us, because we really are brought up by thinking that the only aspect we have to consider is to look at rationality, to consider everything from the rational point of view, logical point of view, and then act upon that. Things are changing, are in the process of changing, and this is why we feel lost. And there is also a very specific aspect that is related to this specific full moon. It is the fact that we are in the middle of the year, in the middle of the collective year, because the 3rd of July really sits exactly in between the beginning, the 1st of January and the 31st of December. So we are in the middle of the year. So from the energetical point of view, we are really receiving intense light, an intense cosmic energy. But not only, we are also entering, especially this week, in a period of time that since the ancient time had a great importance, because it used to be the time of the flood of the Nile. And the beginning of Egyptian New Year. You know, we are the sun that our solar system, our star, that orbits around the center of the galaxy, the sun that is at the center of our own galaxy, which is Sirius, is going to really align with the energy on the same line with Sirius, because the solar system is orbiting around around Sirius, and where the solar system stands is at this point in time is in relation to the Earth is really 14 degrees Cancer. So every year, around between the 3rd to the 10th of July, according to the energy, because our year is not really exactly perfect. We know we have 365 days, but we have also a tiny little bit more, so it could be a bit earlier and a bit later. So every year around this time, our sun is aligned to 14 degrees Capricorn. So we are receiving a very intense energy coming from Sirius. And Sirius is our spiritual sun, the sun that is really reminding us of the highest purpose, our highest purpose. So every year, the middle of the year is very intense for humanity because of the energy. Apart from the fact we also are very at the beginning we just had the summer solstice, so the energy of the sun is really, really, really very strong, and therefore, because of this alignment, even stronger. This week is going to be intense and is taking things up to an end. Also, every time we have a full moon, we are reaching the end of a time. We are reaching a combination, a harvesting of things. And we're going to have the new moon, the next new moon is going to be on the 17th of July. So we're going to have about 15 days where we are really moving, not leaving the past behind and moving into the new, because the new moon is really leading us into the new energy. And I said 2023 is a year where things, where it was planned that things were going to be different compared to the way things were at the beginning of the year by the end of the year. So the universe is really turning our lives upside down, shifting our lives completely. But what we are really invited to do is to trust this process of death and rebirth. The moon is going to happen on the 3rd, and 3 is also called fragmentation. It's talking about fragmentation, but also about upliftment. It is asking us, we may feel confused, we may feel fragmented, we may don't know where to go, because our way of looking at the world is really coming to an end. But we are invited, to trust that, as I said, the unfoldment of the plan. The moon is going to be in Capricorn and the sun is going to be in Cancer. And the moon and the sun, they are going to be the sun at 11 degrees Cancer, and the moon is going to be at 11 degrees Capricorn. And the Sabian symbol associated of the moon to the full moon is really learning to manage physicality in a different way. So we are really invited to look at things in a different way. Capricorn is called the sign of periodic resting, because when we climb up a mountain, we know Capricorn, it climbs up the mountain, we are really reaching the top. And then when we reach the top, we don't have anywhere else where to go apart from going down. So we are reaching a culmination and we are invited to go down, which could be, unpleasant. Remember that even if we are in Capricorn, which is a sign of an earth sign, we still have the sun in a water sign. And the water sign can stir up a lot of inner emotional stuff. And we know that Cancer has a tendency to withdraw, to go within when it's scared, when it doesn't know what to do. But it's going within as two aspects. We can go inside and really feel frightened, but also we can go inside and feel a different energy. So we are reaching an end of dealing with things, and we are invited to go within. And Capricorn is also a sign that could be loneliness, but also can be seen as solitude. So solitude means going within, knowing, detaching from what we see in life. We may look at our own life in a way and say, does this life belongs to me? Is this really what I want? But life is also inviting us to look and detach from the old way of being and rethink everything, refeel anything. So we have reached this point. We have built up, our life through rationality up to this point in time. Now things cannot go ahead in the same way, cannot keep going the same way. So the invitation of Capricorn is to go within and listen and really find new resources to meet the challenge. And what kind of resources? The solution is given to us by a T-square. The sun and the moon is creating a T-square with Chiron. Chiron is the centaur, is the wounded healer. We normally think about Chiron as a challenging planet. We normally say that where Chiron sits in our chart talks about our own wound. But Chiron, he knew how to heal people, but he didn't know how to heal himself. Up to the point that he chose to take the place of Prometheus, who had been punished by the gods because he had given the fire to humanity, take its place and die to become a constellation. So we have to, in brackets, in quotes, die to the old way of thinking, to become a constellation, to become immortal, to become who we really meant to be. So it feels like a very narrow tunnel, a very narrow passage, the way we're going through. And we may experience frustration. We may experience that we are tired, we're sick and tired of things the way things are. We don't have the energy to go ahead anymore. Also because the weeks that we are going through, to go through in July, from the numerological point of view, are all weeks associated to the energy number 30s. We're in the 30s. And when we are going through the 30s, we might experience confusion, we might experience bitterness, but it's also the energy of upliftment. So we need to trust the process. Also, I would like to tell you that because of many of my students have asked me, in August, I'm going to teach online in English the Esoteric Astrology Part 1. So should you be interested in taking part into the course, joining us from everywhere, every part of the world you can really go on our website on the English part, because the website will come up in Italian, but if you click on change language, you have also the English language, and look at our calendar and see Esoteric Astrology Part 1. You can really have a beautiful experience to get to know more about yourself by looking at, in this 4 days course, what is really the true meaning and the purpose behind your soul, your journey throughout this life. It's really an intense time of transformation, but Chiron is asking us to change the way we think, to relax our mind, look at things in a new way. The very main theme of this full moon is change your perspective. Don't look at your life from your own inner perspective, feeling like a victim, but look at your life from a higher perspective where you're really invited to go through this crisis. And, all the natal chart of this full moon is really talking about the fact that this crisis, we have to go through this emotional crisis to manifest something completely new. And it will take time. It will take a little bit of time because our physical body, is low. There is a lot of resistance within the personality, but the moon is talking about abundance. If we trust the process, if we trust what's going to happen, we really succeed. And the total numerological addition of the full moon, of the day of the full moon, is 17. And 17 is really saying, you are the direction. Don't seek the direction outside. Don't seek a solution coming from the outer world, but go within and listen. Listen to your inner voice. So my main suggestion about what to do at the time of this full moon. Go within, light a candle, and say to yourself, I trust you, trust your higher self, trust your inner voice, and trust where your inner light is really taking you. It may seem difficult, but if you really connect with this voice within and flow with it, be humble and flow like water with where the universe is taking you, you will see really major changes happening and abundance coming to you. Bear in mind that we have the result of a full moon only after 6 months from the day of the full moon. So it will take some months to get to the point, but this will be the end of the year and we will see what happens. There is really a big change coming through and we need to trust it. I would like to say happy full moon to all of you, and should you have any question you would like esoteric astrology consultation or esoteric numerology consultation, please contact our school office and I will be very happy to show you where you're heading, where your soul is taking you. Have a lovely full moon.